Hi everyone, good afternoon. Well, hopefully everyone had a great July 4th. For today's training, we're going to show you how to create event chart templates in Command and then share those templates that you create to other Command users. Chart templates in Command, they can be created for planned events, or they can be generic ones that are that can be used for foundation as a foundation for future events. Within Command, there's a bunch of different functionalities. However, the big focus on this is going to be on creating those templates, which means building your charts, adding those assignments. You could possibly add resources as well too, saving them, and then sharing those. So I'm going to show you all that process. At the end of the training, if you have questions specifically for Command and you want me to walk through that, and if we have some time, I'll be glad to assist with that, okay? So just let me know. Either use the chat function or you can unmute yourself and ask. All right, so what I want to start out with is just do a quick high-level overview of what Command is, especially for those that may be new to Command. You may have seen it, or you just recently purchased Command and you're not unsure about how to utilize it. I just want to go through a quick high level. So what is Command? So Command is a PC-based solution. What that means is that you have to install the software onto a computer. And on that computer is the only time you can use your Command software. So it's computer-based. Unlike Salamander Live, which is web-based, which means you can access it anywhere from any computer as long as you have internet connection. So what Command does is it consolidates all of the data, so all your tracking data that's collected from your Rapid Tag solutions, your Rapid Tag evac, and your Track app, even from other Command computers, and it puts that into an ICS chart format that you create. Unlike your other solutions that are utilized in the field, Command is normally going to be housed within your EOC or your command post, so that those individuals that are in charge can have those resource information available to them at the drop of a hat. With that information, they can do what they need to analyze, manage, and reassign those resources. They can rearrange the chart, all using a drag and drop functionality. So you'll see on the screen on here, these toolbars right here, this toolbar right here, these are all drag and drop functionality. Now, for planned events, charts, so you'll see here in this chart right here, these charts can be built ahead of time and then saved and then activated the day of the event. Or what you can do is you can open up any past events in Command and you can save those past events as a template for future similar events. So if you have events that let's say an event that was running last year and you're going to be running a similar event the next following year, you can open up that event because all your event data is stored within Command. So any events that you create within Command is stored within your Command database. And those events can be opened and then they can be saved as a template so that you can use that as a foundation and build off of that if you need to. All right, so I'm going to just pull up Command. Let me just exit out here real quick. All right, so here's Command. I'll minimize this so you can see what the icon looks like. So the icon's going to be this icon right here. It's a red icon, so it's the one icon that looks different than all of our other ones. It's red and it has that chart function in there. When you open that up, it is going to pull up a blank page with an open or new right here. So you'll see in here, you'll see it opens up this option. Give me 1 second here. Sorry about that. I'm battling a cold here. I know, a cold in summer. But if you do that, it'll open up the Start Incident window, and you'll see there's two different tabs at the top here. So there's a new one where you can start a new incident and then a Find. So when you're looking at creating templates, as I stated earlier, you can create one from scratch. So creating one from scratch, you can basically just fill in the information right here, right? What is the name of the incident or event that you're creating this template for or this plan for? So again, these are your planned events. You can go ahead and do that. Or you can go in here and you can find, and I hear there is some echoing. So if you have not done so, please mute yourself. So you'll see in here that under the find is going to be your database of events that were created on this particular command computer. Okay. So on this command, you'll see that there's a bunch of them in here. You can go through your entire list on here. You'll see that some of these are highlighted in green. What that means is those events were not ended in command. So they're currently still running in command. You'll also see on here that there's a training column that says false or true. We recommend when you're creating templates, if you're going to be creating a template to use for a future event, to mark them as training. So this way that you know that it was a training event and not the actual true event. So you can name this whatever you want. If you want to name this as a template, you can name it as a template. Just note that the moment you start an event in command, it is live. What I mean by that is that when you start the event, you create the event and you start it, those that are in Salamander Live that have access to the events dashboard will see that it's a live event. Also, Track App users that are under your account, if you have Track App, if they log into the Track App, they'll be able to see this event as well. So we recommend that if you're creating templates, create them at a time where you are not currently running an event so that it does not confuse your Track App users as they are trying to join events and start tracking resources on that live event. Okay, so in this case, this is a template, so I'm just going to create this. I'm going to name this as such. So in here, I'm just going to name this as test template. If it's for an actual event that you're creating it for, you can name it as such as well. So if it's for, let's say for a conference, and using this for our conference, you can put the name of the conference, and then you can put the template right next to that. Okay. Since this is a training one, I'm going to mark it as training in here. Okay. We'll talk about this later. This is how you're going to open up your actual saved templates. But I'll just click on this so I can show you exactly what those are. So in here, there's a folder. So when you install command, there's like a folder in there called template. You automatically get this one called CNIP master. So this comes with your command computer. The other ones are ones that you'll have to create. So these are just ones that I've created for training purposes. So these are all ones that I've saved on here. So I can go in here and I can open any one of these, and the chart format, and if I saved any resources, would also open up in here and start an actual event. Okay, so we'll talk about that when we actually go back and open up this test template that we're creating. All right, so we're not going to worry about start date or anything like that because this is what we're working off, blank slate for our template. So in this case, I'm going to click Save. Once I click Save, and unfortunately I can't make any of the toolbars down here any larger, the only area that I can zoom in on is going to be this layout area. So I'm going to just zoom in so that you guys can see that better. So this is your layout area. So this is where you're going to go in and start building out your chart. So that chart, what I'm talking about, is going to be either, if you're using the ICS format for a chart, you can use whatever you want when it comes to chart building and reporting structure. Whatever assignments that you're looking to have on there, you can build that reporting structure. Your toolbar is down here. So there's a couple ways you can start building out your chart. One is the manual way and one is through scanning. The preferred way is scanning, but I'm going to first walk you guys through the manual option of how to add these assignments and start building out your chart. Okay? So in this case, all you're going to do is click, drag, and drop the assignment icon. Just throw it anywhere onto this layout area. So this white area is going to be your layout area. Unfortunately, I can't make this window any bigger, so hopefully you can see it hopefully it's large enough on your side there. So in here, you'll see it says Add Assignment. So this is what is the assignment that you want to add on here. So if you look at, if this is for a planned event, what is it specifically that you're looking at adding? I'm just going to do your basic ICS chart. So I'm just going to put in here incident commander. I'm going to select the level. So on here you'll see the levels on here are pulling from that NIMS ICS chart. So select that one and then click Save. If you get this box that says assignment exists, that means that you've already used this assignment in the past. And what it does is it actually saves it into your library. So I'm going to show you guys that one more time, okay? So it says on here, it already exists. You want to load it. I'm going to click Yes to load it. So there it loads it. It adds it to the top there. I'm going to add another assignment. In this case, you can just drag and drop it onto the layout area, or if you want to create that reporting structure, you can drag and drop it on top of another assignment. It's going to create that secondary tier for reporting. So you'll see that in here there's that Add and Find tab. So what I'm talking about when I say library of assignments is under the Find tab, you're going to see a list of all assignments you've used on that command computer. So again, if you have 2 command computers, your assignments list is going to be different, okay? They may be a little bit different depending on what you use. If you use them, if you use those assignments for the same events that those 2 command computers were joined in, or if they were for separate ones, okay? So this is assignments that were used specifically for my command computer. So it saves it into this little library that's going to be stored within command. This assignments list is different than the one that you have within Salamander Live. So just because you add an assignment here does not mean that it's adding it to your Salamander Live assignments database. Okay, so 2 separate assignments lists. This one is specifically for command and command only. However, of course, because you've created this event, this will now transfer and sync up to Salamander Live under the event side. So if you go in there, you should see an event called Test Template that has your assignments that you've added so far, but they're not adding it into that assignments list, okay? What I mean is this here. Let me just pull this up real quick. So I'm going to make sure that there's a full understanding on this. So I'm going to just zoom on this page real quick here. So if I log into Salamander Live, I should see an event called Test Template, since this is a live event. Now, of course, your command computer, in order for it to send information to Salamander Live, your command computer does need internet connection. Okay, so it has to have internet connection in order to make that sync. Can you use command under a comms out environment? Absolutely. We recommend that you, if you're starting out an event, if this was a live event, make sure it's started during comms in when you have internet connection. If for some reason during the event you do lose internet connection, command will start saving that information, queues it up, and then when you get internet connection again, it's going to send that information up to Salamander Live. Just make sure you don't close out of the event in command. So you'll see in here, here's the test template that you're creating, shows the exact time, date, and then you'll see in here is training it, so it says that it's true since I marked it as such when I created this, okay? Here's the assignments list, what I was talking about. The assignments list here is going to be your permanent assignments database that you can create within Salamander Live. This assignments database can also be accessed through the Track app. Whatever you create within command here cannot be accessed through the Track app. Okay, so this can only be accessed through command. So in this case, if you have already built up a nice library of assignments, you can just go to your Find tab and search for it. So in this case, I'm just going to type in operations, click search, and then here I'll have a couple of them on here. There's operations section sheet, the one I'm looking for. So I'm just adding that. You see how simple that is? I'm just dragging and dropping, creating my chart. So now I've got 2 layers for my chart. Now the other way to add assignments, so that's the manual way, is by scanning assignment barcodes. So how do you do that? When it comes to command, we always recommend that you print off all your assignment barcodes and resource barcodes and put into a book, what we like to call a resource book, and have that follow your command computer. Why? Because it makes creating these templates a lot easier and a lot faster. There's a lot less manual work to do if you have the barcodes readily available. So what I'm talking about is these barcodes right here. So these barcodes right here, I'm going to pull this up on my PDF document. These are ones I've printed off already. Here's my PDF document. I've got a bunch of these assignment barcodes. Where are these printed from? These are printed from directly from Salamander Live. And then, of course, you can add your barcodes for your people, so all of your people from your organization. You can pull barcodes for mutual aid, people that are from the other different departments. You can pull equipment in here. So you've got your different barcodes that you can print from Salamander Live. As you know, within your Salamander Live database, like for example, assignments here, if you select all your assignments, in this case, again, we recommend printing 100 at a time. If I select all these and I click print, it's going to pop up this print window, and I can select the assignments sheet. Let me just move this over. So it's assignment sheet right here. 5199 is the one that it's going to print. Of course, just select your regular copier printer. Print this on paper, on a paper copy. No color needed, just black. If you want some color in it, especially when it comes to people and equipment and you want to see that, feel free to do so, but black and white can be sufficient. So you select your printer in here and then print away. And then just put this into a 3-ring binder so that you have this readily available for using with command. Of course, a couple things to note on here for printing in Salamander Live. Make sure you're printing on the computer that has the print software installed. So that is, again, proprietary printing software that you'd have to purchase from Salamander Live. So there's a license that you have to purchase with a license key, and that gives you access to this print settings window. If you're trying to print and you don't see this, that more than likely means that you don't have the license in order to print from that computer. So you can, again, even if it's a paper copy that you're looking to print, you have to have that print license key. All right, so I've got these barcodes right here, so I'm going to just move this over here. I'm going to scan some of these barcodes into command. I'm going to show you how quick and easy this is. So my scanner. See how quick and easy that is? So you can scan, 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 and then all you need to do now, you'll see that I've got a whole bunch of different assignments on here. I can drag and drop them where I need it to go. So you see I'm going to drag and drop it, drag and drop where I need them to go. So you can create your different tiers of reporting for your reporting structure. Okay. Any questions so far on how to add these assignments, either by manual adding them or by scanning? Any questions? Okay. So the organization structure that you assemble here, of course, is going to be based on the size, the type, and the complexity of the event that you are working. So again, it's going to be really based off of your plan and your objectives. Now, in this case, if we have all of this, and let's say we're done for the moment, we can basically, and we're done with our template, say this is for our planned event. So say this is for a conference that we're looking at running, and here's all these different assignments that we are looking at having. So in this case, to save this, at the very top, if you go to Incident, so at the top you'll see there's File, Incident Report, View, and Help. It's under Incidents. The very last option says Save Template. And there's two options to choose here. There's a Structure and Resources. So structure basically means that you're saving the chart structure. So everything as is on here. Okay, and then the other option is Structure and Resources. So yes, you can save resources when you're building out your templates. However, we only recommend you doing that when it comes to rostering. What I mean by that is that making sure that if you have a list of people that you know are supposed to be, or that are planned that should be a part of that event, they should be under the off-scene assignment. Why? Because the moment and the day that you activate this event, let's say you had people within these different assignments, The moment you activate this template, those people will automatically be checked into those specific assignments they're currently assigned. Okay, so to show you guys this, I am going to just scan in some people in this case, okay? So I'm going to scan in some people. Let me just grab some barcodes on here to make it easier. So right here you'll see rescue group is highlighted. That means that is the active assignment. Okay, so that's the active assignment. How do you make one as an active assignment? Simply right-click on the assignment box and then click where it says Set as Active Assignment. Again, right-click the assignment that you want to scan resources to, and then Set as Active Assignment. In this case, you'll see there's a bunch of different stuff that you can do as well too. For example, you can view details for that assignment. You can print barcodes. You can detach this. If I made a mistake and I didn't want this here, I can detach it, or I can remove the assignment. Now, Command is one of the few, or actually it's the only solution out there that you can remove the assignments once you've added them. You can't do that through the trackit. You can do that through Command. As long as there's no resources tied to that assignment, you can remove it. Okay. So again, just right-click and then you can set as active. So in this case, I'm going to scan in a bunch of people in here. You'll see in here I'm adding them in here. So I've added a bunch of people in here. I'll just add some more over here. Set as active. There, I've got a bunch of people in the search group and rescue group, okay? So in this case, if you're looking at saving as a template, you can save the structure. So the structure is going to save everything. As you know, within Command, if you've worked with Command before, you're able to also build sideways. What I mean is you're able to build different tabs at the top here and create separate charts on here. Or you can move these different sections onto their own separate tab. Again, I'm going to show you that real quick on here just so that you guys can see when I talk about structure, it means the entire structure. So if you have a bunch of different tabs on here with different chart structures on each of those different tabs, it will save all those tabs and the structures within those tabs. So I'm just going to name this one as Operations. Save. So you see on here, Operations. To move a section over, or you can basically create one. In this case, I'm going to move this over. I can just drag and drop the section. Everything that's underneath that will be dragged and moved over as well. And when it's just going to drop it under here, under the operations section. I can go to the bottom here and I can make it so it's bigger in this case. So here's that section. At the very top, you'll see that there's that little drop-down arrow. That's an indicator to let you know that this chart is a part of the main chart on the Post tab. Now, if you decide that you want to create a separate tab on here, let's say you want to create something that's specific for medical. You can create one for medical, and then you can add your own different assignments on here that can be separate than the actual main Post tab. So in this case, let me see if I have any. I don't. Let me just add one real quick here. Okay, so I just added a medical unit on here. Make that big so you can see that. There's the medical unit. There's the operations. You'll see that at the top here there's no arrow that indicates that this medical unit assignment belongs to this main Post tab. Okay, so I'm going to show you guys real quick on how to save this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to save as a structure. So what I'm looking for is just saving the structure. So in this case, when I click on Save as Structure, I'm going to get this Save Template window. In here, you want to take note of this pathway right here, okay? This pathway right here is going to be your program data. So your program data, so this PC program data, and then it's going to be Salamander Live. So let me see if I can. I was hoping that I can, let me do that one more time to give you guys that pathway. Sometimes it saves the pathway nicely in here. It doesn't, but it's program, data, salamander, command, and then template. So what you want to do is you want to save that pathway because that's where you're going to find your templates. So if you need to share these templates, so let's say you have 2 command computers that you're looking for to, activate during a event, and you want them to have the same template, same chart, that's what you want to do is you want to share those templates so that when you activate them, they're exactly the same. They look the same. Reporting structure is exactly the same. In this case, I'm going to name this as the test template, which I probably have a bunch of them in here. I do. So test template, I'm going to name this as test template 4. And then I'm going to save this. So I just saved this template right here. Okay. Now I'm going to show you how to save it with the resources. In this case, with resources, I'm going to leave it as such on here, okay? So right here you'll see that I just left my resources. They're on scene in the search group and rescue group. This is not the way I want you guys to do it, but I want to show you guys when you activate an event, what happens if you save it as structure without moving these people to the off-scene assignment, if you're looking at having these as planned resources. So structure and resources, so test template 4 here. Okay. So I saved all this, okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to open up this template. I'm going to show you how to open up the very first template that we saved. So in this case, I'm going to click on New. Yes, you can do this with command. You can't have them running at the same time, but you're able to open up a new event and go between different events on here if you need to. But again, it's not recommended. I'm going to do new incident. I'm going to name this as the test event for today's date. No longer a training. This is the live event. So this is the day of the event we're activating this, right? So here's our event. This is the date. We've created the template already. So in this case, we're going to click the 3 dots. So this is going to open up that menu again to select that template. So you go through in here. That's why it's important to name your template something that you can recognize. Name it as something for that particular event so you know that that's the correct one. Because you start building out a bunch of templates, your list may look like mine, where there's a lot in here, and you may not know specifically what it is. And especially if they're named exactly the same. You see in here, I've got a bunch of them in here, test template. So here it is, test template 4. So this is the one without resources. So this is just the structure itself. So I'm going to open this up. This is not a training. This is an actual live event. I'm going to save, and it's going to open up this template. So you see in here, here's my template. Everything's exactly the same. So my structure in here is the same as what I had. My tabs on here, I had the 2 tabs, operations and medical. Notice underneath my operations, there's no resources that's saved. So your track app users, those that are out in the field are going to be the ones that are going to be scanning and checking in people. Can you use command for that? Absolutely. It's, you can use it whichever way that you want, but more than likely, most likely, you're going to be having your track app users and your rapid tag users that are scanning and checking people in. So you see this is, again, structure, so saving as a structure. I'm going to open up the other one, so I'm going to click on brand new. So I'm going to do test event 2 with today's date. I'm going to choose the template this time. I'm going to use the resources. So here's the other one I saved with the resources. I'm going to open that one. Click Save. Now I've got the same chart structure, except this time I've got my resources on here. You see this? This is why we recommend if you are saving with resources, do not put them within their assignments, because in this case it's saying that all these people right here are currently checked in. When they're checked in, that means the clock is running for them. Okay, so right now clock is running, it's taking away costs, it's calculating costs for all these people, which means they may not even be there. You don't know, right? And unless you do know that they're there. But in this case, it's saying that these people are on scene right now working the event, and they're occurring costs. So this is not the way that we recommend you doing it. what we recommend you doing is going here. So I'm going to open up the event. You'll see in here there's all these test events I created. So here's my very first test event, my my test template. Here's my event with the structure only, and then event 2 with resources. So you see in here, I'm going to bump and go back to my original test template that I created before. I'm going to open that by clicking on it. You see it's highlighted in blue. I'm going to click Save, and it's going to open up my original test template. Here it is. So if you're looking at adding resources, you want to have, you know all the people that are going to be a part of that event, and you want them available. Throw them off scene to create that roster. So in this case, if you click on the first one and you click either and hold down Shift or Control, so either Shift or Control, you can click and grab all those people and move them into the off-scene assignment. So move them to the off-scene assignment. So now you've got a roster in here. Even if you created a roster of collections, so in this case you know that you can create a collection or company of people. That means it's a group or a team of people that are going to be reporting to the event as a single resource. You can create those in here as well too, and then you can drag and drop them into their specific assignments as they are checked in. So again, you can use command in that fashion, or if I logged in right now into my track app, I would see this event and I would see all these people that are in the off-scene assignment. Let's see if I can get my track app running on here so you guys can see this. All right. Let me just start mirroring. Hopefully you guys see this. Okay. So here's my track app. I'm going to minimize all this, make this a little bit bigger. So here's all my events. This is what I'm talking about, the test template. You see on that? That's a test template, and that's live. So I'm going to join that just to show you guys, once I added all those resources to the opt-in assignment, how it creates that roster. So in this case, we threw all those resources in the off-scene assignment. You see in here it's off-scene. Off-scene, it shows there's 0 people on scene right now. So there's no cost that's accruing. So if you want to use it in that fashion, put them all into the opt-in assignment. And then your track app users can check them in. And so this way you can use it as kind of like a roster of who are the people we know that are planned here. As they start checking in, if there's a bunch of people that are still off scene, that means that those people didn't show. So it kind of just helps you in figuring out who showed and who didn't. So you can use the track app in your own, in the same way of checking them in by scanning their ID tags or by downloading them into their specific assignments. Okay. Any questions with this process, with command and creating that template? Any questions? No questions? All right. I didn't mention this. I'll mention this right now. There is a tab on here called Log. So this Log tab is going to show you everything. So it's going to document everything, every activity that's done within command on here. If you have this connected to other solutions such as Track and RapidTag, you'll see that those activities will pop up in here as well too. But what I really want to talk about is this checklist right here. So there's a checklist that's available within command that you basically can create. So there's a default checklist that appears here. So there's, like 10 some different items on here that comes with the with each event. You can go in here, you can edit this list as needed. Now, I want to note on here is that this checklist, if you save this as a template, whatever checklist that you create on here also saves with that template. So I apologize I did not mention that, but if you choose to use a checklist, that is saved with the template. Whether you choose structure or resources, this entire checklist, whatever you create in here, will be saved with that template. Okay? All right. Any questions on this? Obviously, there's a lot more functionality that can be done within Command, but I just wanted to really focus on how to create and build the templates so that you're able to share them. So any questions on this before we move on? None? Okay. All right, so how do you share these? So I talked about that pathway. So on your computer, if you go to your C drive, let me just pull my C drive up here. So if you go into your C drive, so your Windows 10 C drive, you should see a folder called Program Data. If you don't see this folder, you'll need to go to where it says File, Home, Share, View. So it's the fourth tab at the very top on there. Oh, sorry on that. Fourth tab at the very top. You're going to see it says View. Click on that. You'll see that in the fourth column, there's an item called Hidden Items. Make sure that is checked marked because your program data folder is hidden. So you want to make sure that that is checked marked. Once you check that, your program data will now be visible. So when you're in there, go ahead and click on the program data folder. Double click on that. And then you're going to scroll down until you see Salamander. And then you're going to click on that to access that folder. Once you're in there, you should see a folder called Command. And I apologize, it's a little bit smaller. See if I can make the icons a little bit bigger. There. So there's a Command folder. Click on that. And then you're going to see a folder called Template. So this is where all your templates that you create within Command are housed. So here they all are. So how do you share them? It's as easy as copying and pasting. So you can copy this, you can drag and drop it into an email if you want to. So I'm just going to click New on here. Let me grab an email. So here it is, email. If I wanted to share this, I can drag and drop this one and just throw that in there. So I'm sharing this template. You see that? So whichever templates I'm looking at sharing, I just drag and drop it, throw it into my email, and then send. So in this case, I'm going to send it to myself real quick here. Name it whatever you want to. Template. Okay, I'm going to send it. So in this case, this is the sender, okay? So this is sender, the share. So when you, as the receiver, receive this, what do? Same thing. What you're going to do is you're going to open up that email that has that template, and then you're going to drag and drop it into your templates folder. So you see on here, you're going to see this email that populates this. You're going to go here. So this is the pathway. If you have screenshot and you want to screenshot this pathway, feel free to screenshot this pathway. So again, it's your C drive, program data, Salamander, command, template. So that's the pathway. Just open up your templates folder and then drag and drop this into your templates folder. Or you can go in here, save as, and then find your templates folder that way. Okay? So now when you go into Command, you'll be able to pull that template that was shared to you. Okay? Again, if it's not thrown into this templates folder, you're not going to find it. So it's got to be in the specific folder in order for you to open it within Command. So that's how you share. Simple as that. Very, very easy. Any questions on sharing your Command templates? Quiet group today. No questions? All right, so I'm going to open up the floor. So that concludes the creating and sharing of templates. But I'm going to open up the floor if there's anything in particular in Command that you wanted to see specifically or you had some questions on. Here's your time to ask. Anybody? Any questions? Anything that you'd like to see within command? Nothing? All right. Well, that does conclude our training then today. Today's a little short one since we're not going through all of command. We're just going through the creating and sharing of templates. So next week we'll be running the same training again. It's going to be on Wednesday, July 21st at 10 a.m. So if you want to come back and see this again, and for a review, please come back. Share this with others that you feel are going to be command users or are command users but couldn't attend today. Have them come join me on the 21st. I will have one of these videos either today's or next week's. We'll have that posted within Salamander University so that you can go back and review that. Of course, in Salamander University, we've got a bunch of trainings for command. You can go back through and review this. We've got other recorded videos in there that you can go in and view as well, too. So again, it's Salamander University. And then there's a bunch of videos in here for command, so how to actually use it. So here it is, design, save, and share a template. Everything that we've gone through, you can go through in there. There's a bunch of webinar recordings. In this one, I believe this one is going to be PC-based solutions. So there's one for incident management command. And I also have one that's specific for solutions-focused scenarios, so Series 6 that talks about expanding incidents within command. So those are two that you can go back and review if you need to. Other than that, next month, if you're interested, come back. We're going to talk about resource tracking with RapidTag and the Track app. So if you have RapidTag and the Track app and you want some review, or you just recently purchased it and you're not for sure how to use it, come back and join me next month as well. On our website, if there's other people that you know should join these, but they are not receiving those emails, you're able to join those. Let me see, I'm going to go to the website on here. This is something new that we just, if I can spell, wow, sorry, let me spell this. Okay, on our website, on the sign-in page, right here. So this right here, if anybody on your team or your staff that's interested in being a part of these monthly trainings, they want to get the reminders and the emails, have them click on this to send a request to us, and we'll make sure to add them onto our training distribution list so that they get the emails and reminders and everything. Okay? All right, if there's no questions then and no comments today, I'm going to end today's call. Thank you guys all so much for joining me today, and hopefully I will hear from you guys all next week, or I'll see you guys next month. All right, take care, everyone. Have a great day.